Hey guys, OGL Bina here, bringing you guys my APA Academy Season 2 Week 11 battle against JV Westside and his Arkansas Razorwinds. Very cool dude, very talented player as well. He makes some really solid content, so I really do recommend you go check him out if you haven't done so already. He's a really nice guy. But yeah, with that being said, let's kind of just jump into a quick little team preview. If you're really interested in the 6 I brought and EVs and all that stuff, I will leave a link to the team builder video that should have went up yesterday down below in the description, just so you can check out, you know, our 6, the potential 6 that he could have brought, you know, like his whole roster and reasons behind my stuff. But with that being said, I do want to give a quick, you know, background and a quick little rundown. I say background because I talked to JB before the game. He messaged me, and if you didn't know, JB is out of running for the playoffs in APA, and the only reason I bring that up is because he told me before that he was going to be partly, not fully, like, you know, a full-on meme team, because my game still matters, and he didn't want to, like, probably fully just, you know, throw and bring jokes just because it could affect someone else. But he is bringing some gimmicky sets. He told me halfway memeing was his way of putting it. And if you know me, you know I hate playing memes. It really gets me in my head because I'm wondering, is this a meme? Like, what exactly could he be running? You know, I'm expecting him to run this based on matchup, but if he's memeing, is he running this, or is he actually bringing a real set with this one? It just absolutely messes me up and puts me on tilt, so that's going to be fun to try and play around, and you're going to see it does affect a few of my, you know, plays here in this game. However, it does mean that, you know, he might not bring his obvious best 6 or, you know, the best sets they could run versus me, so that's a positive in itself, obviously itself, being one of them being that there is no Mega Mewtwo Y here, so we'll definitely take that over, you know, having to play a couple memes and stuff like that. But yeah, with that being said, just going to give a quick little rundown of the 6 I'm bringing. Again, team builder in the description if you want to check out the exact, you know, sets and IVs and all, EVs and all that stuff. But yeah, we're bringing a pretty bulky Assault Vest Jirachi with U-Turn, Dual Stabs, Fire Punch, a Choice Scarf Infernape with Flare Blitz, Close Combat, U-Turn, Stealth Rock, Wakan Berry, Primarine with Dual Stabs, Encore, Toxic, a very Spadef, Mandibuzz, Foul Play, U-Turn, Roost, Defog, just so we don't get stacked on by the potential Fortress that was coming, that could have come, I guess, Mega Manectric, rocking out with a modest set. We also do have the Thunder Wave, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, and Flamethrower. Really good late game versus his team if I can chip some things down. It's also good at paralyzing a few of his potential Scarfers. That would be really scary versus me, like if he Scarf Kyurem or something like that was the main, or if he Scarf Keldeo for some reason is the main, you know, draw there. And then we have a Life Orb for attacks Deoxys with Fire Punch, Shadow Ball, Psychic, and Drain Punch. But yeah, with that being said, let's jump right into the battle. I am going to lead off with my Jirachi. I figure it leads off well versus pretty much everything barring Torterra, which I can U-turn out on, and Magnezone, which I can also U-turn out on. If he's Scarf, his hits are kind of just bouncing off on me. And if he is Specs, we'll obviously outspeed him when we can pivot out into our Manectric and stuff like that. But yeah, let's just jump right in. We do lead off with our Jirachi, as I said before, as he is going to elect to lead off with his Tyranitar. Now, this is great for me. I don't think he's going to want to stay in. If he's Scarf Tar, then that's fine. I have different ways of taking it on, stuff like that, but he doesn't want to take a Drain Punch in my mind. He doesn't want to take an Iron Head, anything like that. He doesn't even really want to take a U-turn, so he's going to switch out like expected. As I do go for the U-turn, he goes into his Magnezone, which is completely fine with me. I'm going to go for U-turn, do next to nothing on this Magnezone, and get a free switch out into whatever I please. Now, I go out into my Infernape, and this is when I'm talking about memes really get in my head. Right here, I am going to, you know, take a little bit of Sandstorm Chip, and in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, I should knock out even a max HP Magnezone with a Close Combat or Flare Blitz right here. I'm going to click Close Combat because he has the least responses to it. I suppose he could go Gardevoir, but even if it's a 4x, it's going to take a chunk with that plus Sand. So I figured Close Combat is my best play. The only way he can live this is if he is max defense, basically. Magnezone, he has a pretty good shot. I think he actually guaranteed lives it if he's, like, you know, really defensive, which is, you know, not really a set you see too often. Not a set that's necessarily phenomenal versus my team, but in my head I'm thinking, oh, well, if it's memes, he might bring this. Maybe I should click U-turn just in case, if he's obviously, you know, if he's not max defense and he wants to switch out, I'll gain momentum like that. But in the end, I do elect to stay in and click the Close Combat. Now, you're thinking, you know, this should definitely knock us out. You're going to see this Magnezone absolutely eats the Close Combat. My defenses drop. and he's going to be able to eat his Iapapa Berry, get all the way back up to like 60-ish%, and then just pretty much blow me away with a Thunderbolt right here. So just turn 2, I lose what's looking to be my best win con versus my opponent's team here, as he is going to switch out on my second close combat here. I should have switched out, maybe preserved this outside of sand. It still could have done some work, and his only rocker this game is going to be the T-Tar and the Torterra, which I think I can pressure and get rocks away on and stuff like that. But I am just going to like to stay and go for another close combat because I'm all in my head after that play. He's going to take next to nothing from that close combat. Still a decent little chunk, but nothing crazy. And down goes my Infernape due to a max defense Iapapa Magnezone. You're going to see that thing is going to be an absolute nuisance for our team to deal with throughout this game, because it's not just max defense. He has a little bit more in store for us, which is terrible. But down goes our Infernape there. I'm going to go out into Jirachi. He's going to be forced out by us just because obviously he doesn't want to take the Iron Head. However, again, all on tilt, I'm thinking maybe he's like, you know, some crazy set and he's gonna, you know, blow me away. I go for the Iron Head, get a crit, do absolutely nothing, and, you know, don't really grab the momentum on this Magnezone. I'm gonna go for a U-turn right here, though. I don't really want to stay in. I know I'll definitely outspeed him at this point. Gonna get, like, you know, a nice little 1% off on the mag. Gonna switch out into my Manectric as I realize that I am not Lightning Rod, which is really unfortunate. If I was Lightning Rod, that would obviously be really nice here. But he goes for the Recycle anyway, showing us that he is a Recycle Iapapa Berry Magnezone, which is absolutely, it's actually pretty cool in all honesty, but really did throw me off, you know, in this matchup and stuff like that, as he is going to pull a switch out into his Tyranitar, not going into Torterra, obviously, because Flamethrower was pretty obvious there. Flamethrower Overheat, and that thing doesn't really take 2 of those very well, as I am going to get off and Intimidate on this, you know, T-Tar right here, and I'm going to go for a Flamethrower. Again, I'm making very obvious plays, but I'm playing very much on tilt, and I'm petrified at what these sets might potentially be and all that good stuff. And I'm going to take a little bit of Sandstorm Chip after doing so, and I'm going to go for a Volt Switch, just trying to chip this thing down, hopefully into range of a Drain Punch if he is Chople Berry and all that stuff. The more chip this thing takes, the better for Deoxys, because that's looking to be pretty much my only win con here at the end of the game, as he is going to go for the Stealth Rock on my Primarina switch-in, which is obviously fine. You know, I can potentially remove those with my Mandibuzz later in the game, but my team isn't very Rocks weak in all honesty. I'm going to go for a Scald, as he actually does elect to end up staying in. He's not super Spadef right there, as we do a big chunk with our Scald. He's going to go for the Earthquake, and it's going to do a fair chunk to us. This shows us... Oh, no, it's not. I'm absolutely tripping. That's another hit later in the game. We absolutely eat that Earthquake, showing me he's probably not... you know, very attack invested at all, and he probably doesn't have the Stone Edge, or he just maybe didn't want to risk the miss. But he doesn't go for it. We're able to knock him out the second Scald, as we did outspeed it due to our creeps and stuff like that. And down goes the T-Tar, which makes it really nice for our Deoxys in the end game, just spamming buttons and, you know, clicking attacks. As right here, he is going to go out into the Kyurem. This is fine, because from this range, I actually always live a Fusion Bolt due to our Wakan Berry, as he is going to go for said Fusion Bolt, you know, and bring us down very low. Even through our Wakan Berry, we're going to take an absolute chunk from this thing, to the point where we can still live a Sandstorm turn after, though, which is obviously nice. As I'm going to go for a Moonblast, and this is going to reveal that this is an Assault Vest Kyurem if I have ever seen one. He is a very bulky Kyurem. It's going to take, you know, actually not even be a 2-hit KO from our Primarina right there, and we have a fair few amount of, you know, special attack investment. So he's going to be able to pick us off with the next Fusion Bolt right here. Again, this is fine, though, just simply because Primarina did its job. It was able to take out the T-Tar and really weaken this Kyurem. The only problem is if he's Calm Mind Keldeo, things are looking very tough. Or even if he's Scarf Keldeo, things are looking very tough for us. I'm going to go into my Jirachi. I know I can outspeed this thing, being like he is definitely Assault Vest. He's going to go into the Magnezone, and again, I make the bad play. I go for the Iron Head when U-turn was very obvious, very much so my better play, as Iron Head was completely obvious for me. As I'm going to go for another U-turn, grab a little bit of momentum right here at least, and switch out into one of our Mons in the back, which is going to be our Manectric. Obviously already Mega, so we definitely don't have Lightning Run now, but if this thing isn't very invested, we shouldn't take too much from a Thunderbolt or a Flash Cannon or anything like that, so I'm not too worried in all honesty. As he's going to go for the Thunderbolt, I suppose that could have been bad if he was Hidden Power Ground, but we lived it regardless, so I'm not too worried, as I said. I'm going to go for a Flamethrower. He's actually going to leave in the Magnezone, which is great because this thing, again, was terrifying. It was really, really annoying for our team. We got a crit. It didn't end up really mattering. We did a lot to that thing regardless. We're going to be able to knock out the Magna Zone and really just get rid of that ginormous threat versus our team. He's going to go out into the Gardevoir, show off the Trace and Intimidate, be able to lower our attack, which obviously doesn't really matter at this point. And right here, I'm going to pull a switch out into my Jirachi, simply because of the fact that even if he's Scarf, I don't really want to risk him, you know, doing a bunch of damage to me or anything like that. Even though I don't really expect the Scarf, it's better to scout for it because I do want this health on our Manectric just in case, you know, it ends up coming clutch for living some certain hit or something like that, or, you know, being able to pivot in on Rock Stone and get the Intimidate off him like a Torterra. But I'm going to go into my Jirachi as he doubles out into Kyurem. I'm not sure exactly what he expected there. I'm going to go for the Iron Head, not get the flinch, unfortunately. He's going to go for the Shadow Claw and get the crit, which is terrible because this was one of our better checks to the Gardevoir in the back, which is looking like a ginormous threat versus us at this point. We're able to pick off the Kyurem with the next hit. Thankfully, we didn't just straight up die to the crit. But again, that's very, very unfortunate for us. Makes his team much scarier because now he can go into his Gardevoir, and if he is Scarf, then he's looking to be a lot more terrifying versus our team, if I'm being real. But yeah, I am going to go for a Iron Head just in case he is not for some reason, but the way he went into this, there's no way he wasn't Scarf. He's going to lock into Moonblast, actually knock us out. I don't know if that was roll or not. I don't think it was. We were very, very low at that point. And down goes Jirachi, but it was able to check the things it really needed to in this game. I'm going to go into Deoxys simply because I know I can outspeed this thing, and I 2-hit KO everything on the switch that wants to potentially come in or anything like that. As I do stay in, I go for the Shadow Ball. He probably thought, you know, he can potentially outspeed me. But we did creep the Scarf Gardevoir just in case it came, so I'm glad I did that. It was like a last-minute change right before the game. I had someone gem me another Deoxys, you know, with the proper speed stat and stuff like that. So down it goes. He's going to go out into the Torterra. I'm going to go for the Psychic just to try and do as much damage to this thing as possible. If he's Rock Polish right here, which he actually told me after the game he was, and he clicks it at this point, the game's over. I don't think I can win the game. I don't really have anything to take hits from it. If he is Edgequake, I guess our Mandibus can potentially eat a hit from it, but I don't think Foul Play will knock it out unless he Swords Dances. If he Swords Dances, he knocks us out. But Deoxys is going to go down to an Earthquake, opposed to him going for a Rock Polish, which is obviously really good. Actually, I don't think he won the game, because I don't think Rock Polish Torterra outspeeds our Deoxys with our, you know, investment and stuff like that. But down goes Dio. He's going to, I'm going to go out into my Mandibuzz because Foul Play should 2-hit KO this thing. Even if he Rock Polishes, we should be fine. He's going to go for the Stone Edge and miss, which is unfortunate, but I don't think it really, really matters. I forgot to take off Gardevoir off the layout. Oops. I'm going to go for a second Foul Play and be able to knock this thing out, which is obviously really, really nice. Down goes the Torterra, and all that's left is the Keldeo. And now this is really, really scary, despite that there's one Mon left. If he is Calm Mind, or no, if he's Scarf, he can potentially win the game, because I don't really have a way to hit him, and my Manectric is actually in range of like a Scarf Hydro Pump or something like that after the Rock Chip. But he shows to end up being a Icy Wind right here. Our speed's going to fall, but I went for the U-turn just simply because I knew I was going to be slower unless he was like min speed, and I would get a free switch into my Manectric, which is obviously great, and we're going to be able to pretty much just wrap up this game right here. As out comes Main. Going to be able to take a little bit of Rock Chip, but now that I know if he's Scarf, he is locked into Icy Wind, I should be able to always live that hit, especially from this range. We're going to be able to go for a big, big, modest Thunderbolt, knock out the Keldeo, which really broke my heart because, you know, unfortunately, it's one of my favorite mons to use. We had it on the team earlier this season and put in a lot of work, but we're able to take a 2-0 victory versus JB and his memes right there. Now, I'm really glad we were able to pull out that win. GG's to JB, obviously. He brought a really, really cool, really fun team with the Recycle Magna Zone, especially. That thing was absolutely terrifying. It made me lose my win con, you know, turn 2 into the game, which is obviously really cool to see. You could even argue it's not really a meme because it worked phenomenally versus my team, and it didn't match up absolutely horribly either. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy the battle, be sure to subscribe just so you can catch our games as they go up every single week, as well as the Showdown Lives we're uploading every day that leagues aren't going up. But yeah, again, with that being said, I am going to get on out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Later.